Hari Om. Parvati Bhagini, are you there on the call? I think I can see your hands up symbol there. Are you on the webinar already? You are self-muted, huh?
Yes.
Why don't you start the Dhyana Shloka? It's 2 minutes early, but it's okay because I have to chant Shivamanasa Stotram after that. So you please start with the Gita Dhyana Shloka.
Sure, ma'am. I will start.
Please. You muted yourself, Parvati Bhagini. Parvati Bhagini.
Ma'am. Can you hear me?
Actually, you had muted yourself. Now you can start.
Yeah. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grachitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamrutavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayiniim Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad-gite Bhavadveshiniim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totravetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gītāmృతduhe namaha Sarvopanishado gavaha Dogda Gopalanandanaha Partho vatsa sudhir bhokta Dugdham Gītāmృtam mahat Vasudevasutam devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Bhishmadrona Tata Jayadratha Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Khalu Pandavairana Nadi Kaivartaka Keshavaha Parasharya Vacha Saroja Mamalam Geetartha Gandhotkatam Nanakyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadai Raha Raha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsi Nashreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Paramanandamadhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Tunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः हरि ओम
Hari Om. Dhanyavadha. We'll now chant Shivamanasa Stotram, just as I had said in the last class. So I'll just bring up those slides. रत्नैकल्पितमासनं हिमजलैः स्नानं च दिव्याम्बरं नानारत्नविभूषितं मृगमदा मोदाङ्कितं चन्दनं जातिचम्पकबिल्वपत्ररचितं पुष्पं च धूपं तथा दीपं देवदयानिधे पशुपते हृत्कल्पितं गृह्यताम् सौवर्णे नवरत्नखण्डरचिते पात्रे घृतं पायसं भक्ष्यं पञ्चविधं पयोदधियुतं रम्भाफलं पानकम् शाकानामयुतं जलं रुचिकरं कर्पूरखण्डोज्ज्वलम् ताम्बूलं मनसा मया विरचितं भक्त्या प्रभो स्वीकुरु छत्रं चामरयोर्युगं व्यजनकं चादर्शकं निर्मलं वीणाभेरिमृदङ्गकाहलकला गीतं च नृत्यं तथा साष्टाङ्गं प्रणतिस्तुतिर्बहुविधा ह्येतत्समस्तं मया सङ्कल्पेन समर्पितं तव विभो पूजां गृहाण प्रभो आत्मा त्वं गिरिजामतिः सहचराः प्राणः शरीरं गृहम् पूजा ते विषयोपभोगरचना निद्रा समाधिस्थितिः सञ्चारपदयो प्रदक्षिणविधिः स्तोत्राणि सर्वा गिरः यद्यत् कर्म करोमि तत्तदखिलं शम्भो तवाराधनम् करचरणकृतं वाक् कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वापराधं विहितमविहितं वा सर्वमेतत् क्षमस्व जय जय करुणाब्धे श्रीमहादेव शम्भो। Hari Om. When you're doing the meditation, this has to be chanted at a much slower pace. So first, when we get by heart, it is better to use the speed, but after that, it's better to slow down considerably. We'll start the class. सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां Vande Guru Parampara. Okay, it seems to be saying that there is a slow connection. 1 second. That's okay. Param varishtam brahmishtam paramanandarupinam paramarthanandayatim sadgurum pranatosmyaham. So, in the first 9 verses, we saw that Krishna spoke about Bahiranga Sadhanani, and then Krishna spoke about Antaranga Sadhanani. Bahiranga Sadhanani meaning general preparatory disciplines, which will be useful for any type of meditation. And then Krishna spoke about Antaranga Sadhanani, which are specific preparations that we need to undertake before the meditation. And that also we saw 2 categories. One was external aspects that we have to take care, and the other was internal aspects. So I just summarized it in a slide. 3 external factors: desha, kala, asana, that is the place of meditation, time and the seat. And then 5 internal factors: sharira sthitihi, our body mind; prana sthitihi, the breathing; indriya sthitihi, the sense organs; the manasthitihi, manahasthitihi, which is the mind, right? Manasthitihi, which is the status of the mind; and buddhi sthitihi, the intellect, right? So after this, I said Lord Krishna had forgotten something in the Bahiranga Sadhanani. So he went back to the topic of Bahiranga Sadhanani, right? And that is what we were seeing in the last class, which we were seeing verse 16 there. And Lord Krishna was talking about Ahara Niyamaha, right? And I also said that the quality of Ahara is going to be discussed at length in the 17th chapter about Satvika Ahara, Rajasika Ahara, Tamasika Ahara, why you should not eat Rajasika Ahara, like, onion, garlics, etc. And why we should not eat non-vegetarian food also. All those will be discussed in detail in the 17th chapter. So here he was, Krishna was talking more about the quantity of eating, right? And Krishna also mentioned that the eating will impact the breathing. And we already saw in the 4th chapter, one verse there in verse 21, apane juhvati pranam, prane panam tatapare, prana panagati rudva pranayama parayanaha. We saw about how the breathing will impact the exhalation and inhalation process, right? And how it can impact the mind. So the food can impact the breathing, the food can impact how does it impact the breathing? Through samana vayu. Samana we saw in Tattva Bodha, which is responsible for the digestive power, right? So that is the prana that is responsible for the digestive power. So in turn, samana will have its impact on the other 4 pranas, right? Which is apana, the prana itself, apana, udana and vyana, right? So the food we take in will impact not only the digestive a part of the prana, it will also impact the other pranas, right? And which in turn will impact the inhalation exhalation process or pranayama. And pranayama is very much important for restraining the mind, right? We saw all this. So in fact, Swamiji keeps talking about how we should prevent, eating at wrong time, eating just like that, whether we are hungry or not eating. In fact, he was, I recall this joke that he mentioned. He said he was once traveling in the train, and I believe the people, there were some vendors, the shop guys getting in and selling time pass. Time pass, time pass. So he was wondering how you can sell time pass, right? Then he found that time pass is the name of a popcorn. And so people are just having popcorn for time pass. So he always uses this to say that it is very important for us to be aware that we are eating for and for the sake of our breath and not for sensual pleasures and time pass, right? And there is a very beautiful Subhashitam. And I always wonder how Swamiji manages to pick the right Subhashitams at the right places in the Gita. Forget about introducing Upanishad. He introduces the right Subhashitam. Aharartham karma kuryad ajasram syad aharaha pranasandharanartham pranadharyaha tattva jignasanartham tattvam neyam yena bhuyona dukkam. Aharartham karma kuryad ajasram. You will have to work and earn your food or living. Earning is for eating, yes. Syad aharaha pranasandaranartham. For protecting the prana, ahara is required, right? Why should we protect the prana? Pranadharyaha tattva jignasanartham. To attend classes for tattva jignasa. Spiritual inquiry is for what? Tattvam niyam yena bhuyona dukkam. So that samsara can be remedied for good, right? So one who overeats, meditation is not possible, and one who eats too less also cannot support life, and therefore no meditation. Actually, when you sit back and see, I think a few centuries back, the way we lived, right, whatever we did, whether it was Subhashitani or whether it was Upanishad or Puja or Veda, everything was so connected towards achieving the primary goal, which is moksha, and the other three goals supporting it. If you see again and again, you are seeing that everything is around it. And in fact, somewhere I was reading the definition of Kavya and Gadya and all those days. Kavya especially had to have an objective of communicating something which is there in the Veda, so that it will work towards the ultimate Purushartha, right? They had rules like that, right? So even the street plays that they used to have, right, must have some message. You can't have whatever you want. Like, I'm not belittling the movies of today, but there are movies which do not communicate any message, right? So it was not that way those days. So coming back to this, just as there must be eating discipline, right, sleeping discipline is also important. We actually stopped at this point, right? So body comprises of all three gunas, sattva, rajo and tamo guna. Sattva guna is for proper employment of jnanendriyani, right, for jnana purposes. Rajo guna for proper utilization of karmendriyani, right? And tamo guna is for resting, because only if we rest we can rejuvenate, right? A workaholic who neither has time for reading nor resting will become will not be able to do any work properly, right, efficiently. So body does not get enough physical activity also, right? That is also a problem, right? Na chati swapna shilasya jagrato, right? Means one who is continuously awake, either learning or doing, and does not rest all the time, right? So there must be a balance between waking and sleeping, right? And in fact, Swamiji says that there are a few people who tell him that they wake up at 3 a.m. and meditate up to 6 a.m., right? He says that doesn't work, right? For everything there must be moderation. You must sleep well and you must do meditation. And that is why, as I said in the last class, he says if you love meditation, do 15 minutes meditation 2 or 3 times a day, but not in one go, right? So Dhyana Yoga is possible neither for one who eats too much nor for one who does not eat at all, right? Neither for one who sleeps too much nor for one who is ever awake. One second, there are some Okay. Gayatri has said that your voice is breaking frequently and webcam is not clear. Is it still like that or is it okay now? I can switch off the webcam otherwise. Okay, I don't have any message from anybody else. Okay, fine. Continuing. Natyashnatastu yogosti. Natya. Oh, I think I finished this. Okay, it's the next one. Yuktahara viharasya yuktacheshtasya karmasu yuktasvapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha yukta swapnava bodhasya. Okay. So this is a very important practical down to earth advice. That's why I put those green stars there. Fourfold disciplines are mentioned here, which is actually two additional ones. We've already seen two in the earlier one. So yuktahara is let there be moderation in eating, right? It is a repetition of the previous shloka. Swapnava bodhasya, that is about the sleeping, right? That is the second one which is talked about. And viharasya, right? Regular walking. Shankaracharya translates viharasya as padakramaha, right? We don't seem to be aware of this at all, and looks like Shankaracharya spoke about it right then. Every day 10,000 steps. Now we have Fitbit to monitor our steps, right? Previously these steps were not required. We could go around the temple, or we could do, we could go to the well in the temple and bring water, etc., right? So Lord Krishna perhaps knows that, later on we would have this problem. So he is carefully advising, right? And he's focusing on all round fitness. Physical activity is required. That is the third one. And fourth one is Yukta Cheshtasya Karmasu. We all should have some project or the other for which we must regularly work. Either our career, or if we are retiring, then there must definitely be a project that we will be part of and we can look forward to, right? We do have an ultimate goal of liberation, right? But you may still have some other relative goals, some service or project, right? Otherwise, as Swamiji says, you won't have inspiration to even get up in the morning, right? So some people, they get up early on weekdays if they don't have anything other than work, right? But Sunday, they get up at 11 o'clock, right? And you can see, and children also grow up like that in those houses. And they don't, brush. They just drink coffee and have their food late. You can see because there is no routine. Whereas if you have a religious or spiritual routine in the morning, then it is always there independent of what work you do. But most importantly, the fourth discipline talks about our keeping ourselves engaged in some activity or the other, right? According to our mindset, how much of sattva guna, how much of rajo guna we have, right? So this is the fourth discipline, right? So some work in moderation, limited activity at least we must have, right? So with these two shlokas, the Bahiranga Sadhanani is over, right? And in this verse, Lord Krishna has spoken about eating, sleep discipline, physical exercise, and engaging in some activity. So Dhyana Yoga becomes the destroyer of sorrow for one who is moderate in eating and recreation, right? Who is moderate in sleeping and waking, and who is moderately engaged in actions. Yada viniyatam chittam Atmanyevavatishtate. Atmanyevavatishtate. Nisprihas sarvakamebhyah. Nisprihas sarvakamebhyah. Yukta ityuchyate tada. Yukta ityuchyate tada. From verse 18 onwards, actual dhyana procedure and culmination is talked about, right? Dharana, dhyana, and then samadhi, right? So drawing our thoughts from all the external fields and focusing on the object of attention, right? Object of attention here can be your God if it is Saguna Upasana. If it is Nirguna Brahma Upasana, it can be Atma Brahman, right? So I choose the type of meditation and apply the mind in the chosen field. Here in chapter 6, it is Atma Dhyanam. That is, I am not the body, mind, sense organs. I am the consciousness principle. And we saw several features of consciousness, right? Consciousness is not a part, product, or property of the body. We saw that, right? So, two wonderful examples are given by scriptures. Just see how compassionate scriptures are. They try and come down to our level and give examples, right? Both are very well-known examples. I must have spoken about it earlier, but otherwise you can definitely make a note of this. One is Akasha or space, right? Take the various features of space, right? It is all pervading, right? Does not have color, form, touch, smell, right? Space cannot be divided, right? It can accommodate anything. You can artificially divide it by putting a wall around it, right? But otherwise it's the same space. It has no form, etc. And you just think of the space for a few minutes. In fact, Akasha Dhyanam is really tough as compared to Saguna Upasana Dhyanam, right? So that is also a subtle form of Anatma only, but very difficult to focus on the space. So once you're able to focus on the space and have thoughts on that, then you replace the space by consciousness principle, right? Do not objectify the consciousness, but say, I am the awareing principle, right? Sarvagataha, Ekaha, Rupaha, Ruparahitaha, etc. Right? So my body is limited, my mind is limited, sense organs are limited, but I am the awareing consciousness principle who is awareing all of this, who is aware of the body, the mind, the sense organs, etc. Right? I am ever the pure, never contaminated, indivisible, birthless, deathless consciousness. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyah ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranah. Shashvatoyam to be replaced by shashvato ham. Shashvato ham, that is Shashvataha aham, right? Puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire. We saw this very important verse in chapter 2, 20th shloka, right? So body will come and go. Body is agama pai. I, the awareing consciousness, is not subject to arrival and departure. Vasansi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani yanyani sanyati navani dehi. So, tatha sharirani vihaya jirnan, right? So, in chapter 2, this verse also comes in chapter 2, 22nd verse, right? The body will come and go, right? There will be wear and tear to the body also. We will get a new body as well, just like we put on a shirt, right? So I am, however, the non-arriving, non-departing consciousness, right? These thoughts you entertain in Vedantic meditation. If you recall, we saw 5 types of meditation when I introduced meditation, right? What were they? Relaxation meditation, concentration meditation, expansion meditation, value meditation, and Vedantic meditation. consciously entertaining thoughts about the Atma or Brahman is Vedantic meditation. So, Shastra says you replace the Akasha. You first get to Akasha, then you replace the Akasha by consciousness principle. But when you are doing that, do not objectify consciousness principle. The second example that Shastra provides is the light pervading the room, right? Prakashaha, right? We are not looking at the source, not the tube light, right? We are looking at the light that is illumining all the objects. It is not contaminated by anything. It is intangible. It is formless. Imagine the Surya Prakasha, which is spreading all over the earth, right? So after meditating on the Surya Prakasha for a few minutes, replace with Chaitanya Prakasha. That's the consciousness principle. Akasha Tulya Chaitanya Prakasha Aham. So I am that awareing principle. And bring your mind to the higher level rather than worrying about material issues. Swamiji gives a very nice way of making the mind subtler. So he says, you try this. You use the pen, you are not the pen. You use the bicycle, you are not the bicycle. You use the spectacle, you are not the spectacle. Right? You use your body, you are not the body. You are experiencing the mind, but you are not the mind. Right? So keep negating like this and dwell on your higher nature. I am the Atma, the awareing principle, who is aware of not only the pen, the spectacle, etc., but the body, the mind, the intellect itself. Right? So 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes per day, slowly you revel in this Atma Dhyanam, right? And scriptures ask us to remember this every day. Remembering the older I, right? The living body-mind complex I is very depressing, because as you grow older, you start getting some pain or the other, some problems or the other, fear of old age, right? Insecurity. So Veda says, why can't you dwell upon your higher I few minutes every day away from family, profession, body, from your concerns, focusing on the awareing Sakshi, right? Then you continue in that for a length of time, right? Suddenly the mind will go somewhere. Pull it back in, right? And stay there in Dhyanam. So Dharana is focusing, Dhyanam is retaining the Samadhi, right? Retaining it is Dhyanam, and Samadhi is actual absorption, right? So after some time, when the thoughts become continuous, right? That is Samadhi. And note carefully, when you are absorbed in that thought continuously, with your effort, it is Savikalpaka Samadhi. Okay. When you are in that Samadhi or absorption, without your effort, effortlessly, like the Mahan Atmas, that is Nirvikalpaka Samadhi. So that is the difference between Savikalpaka and Nirvikalpaka Samadhi, right? So Lord Krishna is speaking in the reverse order here, Samadhi, Dhyanam, and then Dharanam. So Yada Viniyatam Chittam, when meditator's mind is withdrawn from worldly situations of profession, family, body, and mind, Sarva Kamebhyaha Nisprihaha, our various, projects, etc., we just withdraw from all of them. You have got duty towards everybody around you, but remember, you have a duty towards yourself. You as a jiva is caught up in the wheel of samsara, right? And this janma is a very rare janma which you have got, the human janma. This is the only chance to get out of samsara, right? So at least for a few minutes, keep aside everything else and work on this goal, which is for yourself, right? Atmanyeva vatishtate. I abide in the Atma. It is not just sitting here, but abide in the Atma, meaning entertain the thought of the Atma as described earlier, right? Obviously, initially it will only be Savikalpaka Samadhi at the most, even if you are able to hold the thoughts effortlessly in Atma Dhyanam, right? That itself is after what? There may be very rare people who can do it immediately, but otherwise it's a gradual step from japa to your what do you say, Sakama Bhakti and Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam. Then Saguna Ishvara Dhyanam with Nishkama Bhakti, not asking anything for yourself. Then it comes to Akasha Dhyanam, which is, kind of Vishwarupa Ishvara Dhyanam. And then you replace Akasha or Prakasha with Chaitanya Swarupa Dhyanam. And then revel in those thoughts with effort, then effortlessly. So what is effortless is called Nirvikalpaka Samadhi. So such a person who is abiding is referred to here as Yukta. So when the restrained mind abides in the Atma itself, then the meditator who is detached from all sense objects is called a yogi. Continuing. Yatha deepo nivatastah Yatha deepo nivatastah Nengte sopama smrita Nengate sopama smrita Yogino yata chittasya Yogino yata chittasya Yunjato yogamatmanah Yunjato yogamatmanah. So when we want to know the mental state of a successful meditator, right? Scripture talks about the following. Yoginaha, right? So an example, scripture is going to give an example now. Right? Yoginaha in the second line is one who is practicing Vedantic meditation. Right? So word yogi is used very loosely in Gita. So it will refer to different things. So we have to be very, very careful about what is referred to in which chapter, right? So here it is not Karma Yoga, it is not Jnana Yoga. It is here a person practicing Dhyana Yoga, Dhyana Yogi. Right? So the word has contextual meanings and we must be careful, right? So who is a Dhyana Yogi? Who has gone through the third chapter, fourth chapter and all, who has understood the descriptions of Atma, right? And he knows that meditation is not emptying the mind, but dwelling on Atma thoughts. Atmanaha yoga yunjita, one who is practicing Atma Dhyanam, Yata Chittasya, and he has withdrawn the mind and has brought the mind to Atma thoughts after some effort. And then the mind is dwelling on the Atma without any distraction. This undistracted mind is like the flame of a lamp. Deepaha iva. If a lamp is kept at a distance, say from the fan, you will see the flickering flame, right? If you switch off the fan, then there is minimum wind. Then the flame, if you see, will stand very steady, right? So that is deepaha iva. Such a flame is being compared, right? So a steady mind is compared to the non-flickering flame kept in a protected enclosure. Nivatastaha. Sopama. Sa-upama means it is compared. It's a simile, right? In Sanskritam, a simile is referred to as upama, right? So sa-upama, it's a simile. Yata deepo nivatastaha nengate, right? Like a protect flame which does not flicker, right? Here the flicker indicates distraction of the mind, right? So we should remember that when a person is absorbed in the meditation, right? Here the object of meditation is not some object, but it is our own higher nature, right? So when I am dwelling on this teaching, I am not working for a new knowledge. The knowledge is already received through Shastra, right? So it is only, and it is not even meant for a new experience, right? Because experience will bring duality. Our aim is neither new knowledge nor new experience, but we keep the available knowledge active in the mind. When the knowledge is kept in the mind without any external distraction, the knowledge gets well absorbed. The aim is assimilation, internalization of the knowledge received from the Shastra. So this Samadhi, Lord Krishna wants to describe in the following verses by giving 7 definitions of Samadhi, right? Or 7, I should say 7 aspects or features of Samadhi. Sapta Lakshanani, absorption in myself, not as the body or not as the mind, but as I, the witness, consciousness. What are these 7 descriptions? We'll see, okay? Yatro paramate chittam, yatro paramate chittam, niruddham yoga sevaya, niruddham yoga sevaya, yatra chaivatmanatmanam, yatra chaivatmanatmanam, pashyannatmani tushyati, pashyannatmani tushyati. In this verse, the first 2 descriptions of Samadhi are given, right? So the first description is Chitta Uparamanam, right? And the second description is Atma Darshanam, right? So Yoga Sevaya Niruddham. At the time of absorption in meditation, my mind is withdrawn from all the external fields of distraction. It is not a wandering mind, not a roaming mind, but it is having a deep calmness. Uparamanam means quietude, right? So, yoga sevaya niruddham. Yoga seva means practice, means deliberate withdrawal from the distracting world. Due to that, there is what? Chitta uparamaha. Uparamaha we studied where? In Tattvabodha, right? In Shamadhi Shatka Sampatti, we saw Shama Dama Uparamaha, the third of the 6-fold discipline. So this is the first nature of Samadhi, or first aspect, deep calmness, right? They say that 1 hour of this deep rest is equal to several hours of sleep. So that is how the great acharyas could manage with so less sleep, right? So these are people who are, today we have doctors who study the mind of people in deep sleep, right? They say that there are some waves generated by the mind, alpha, beta, gamma. I don't know about it, but they say that they are able to measure the mind and see how it is different when it is in deep quietude, right? So this is one aspect, which is deep calmness. The second aspect is, even though the mind is withdrawn from all the distracting thoughts, the mind is not totally thoughtless. If the mind is totally thoughtless, it will not be called Vedantic meditation. Because in Vedantic meditation, we don't prescribe total thoughtlessness. On the other hand, we have to invoke our higher nature. I am the Sakshi Chaitanyam. I am the witness consciousness, right? And not only that, that consciousness is as described by Lord Krishna in the 2nd chapter, right? Which we talked about even in the last class. Satyaha, Nityaha, Akarta, Abhokta, Aprameyaha, Sarvagataha, right? Beyond sensory organs, all pervading, right? They are not just words. These are all descriptions which should now make meaning to us, right? So I see the meaning of these words deeply. This is called Atma Darshanam, right? Literally, Atma Darshanam means what? Seeing the Atma. We should not translate like that, because Atma is not capable of being objectified, right? So it is not seeing the Atma, but I want to claim that I am the Atma. This is called Atmanaha Atmanam Atmani Pashyan. Seeing the Atma by the Atma in himself. Tushyati, a person is totally contented, because from all other levels, nobody can get total contentment, whether it is professional level or family level, right? Or from physical level, we'll always have several complaints, right? Purnatvam is possible only from the standpoint of my real nature, right? Atma sarvada purnaha and anatma sarvada apurnaha. Therefore, we have to accept the inadequacy of the anatma and we have to claim the fullness of atma. It's very easy to say the word, we have to accept the inadequacy of anatma. When we look at anatma as our family, as our son, daughter, spouse, right, house, profession, right, then it becomes difficult to accept it as anatma can never give a purnatvam, right? So in all the Puranic stories we see there is a king, then there is a fantastic a kingdom, then there is a queen and all of that, and he's so valorous, all that. Then at the end there'll be, but alas, he never had a child. Something or the other will come, right? So Atma is limitless and we have to learn to claim that Atma, right? So the second feature is Atmanam Pashyan, claiming my nature, I enjoy my fulfillment. In spite of the problems that I have all around. It is not that a jnani does not have any problems, right? But he revels in Atma and therefore he is fulfilled, right? So this is, we have to learn to handle the situations, right? So the first two aspects that we have seen are Chitta Uparamaha and Atma Darshanam, right? So one should know that to be in Samadhi, wherein the mind is restrained by the practice of meditation, quietens, and wherein one perceives the Atma with the pure mind and rejoices in the Atma. Continuing. Sukhamatyantikam yattad, Sukhamatyantikam yattad, Buddhigrahyamatīndriyam, Buddhigrahyamatīndriyam, Vetti yatra na chaivayam, Vetti yatra na chaivayam, Stitaschalati tattvataha, Stitaschalati tattvataha. Okay, this is a very, very important verse because at least I am going to present this concept, I think, first time during the course of Vedanta, Introduction to Vedanta and Gita. So the third aspect is Atyantika Sukha Praptihi, attainment of absolute Ananda. Of course, to understand this statement, we have to remember one of the teachings of Vedanta, but we have not seen that in the previous chapters that have gone by, right? So, now we will present the idea very, very briefly, right? According to Vedanta, the external world which we depend upon for getting happiness, that external world does not have happiness at all. The world does not have even an iota of happiness. If any object can give happiness, then it should give happiness to all people uniformly, to everyone whom or who that object contacts. The very fact that fire gives heat to all people indicates what? That the fire has heat as its very nature. Similarly, if any object or person in the world has got happiness, what should happen? That person or object should be able to give happiness to all the people, right? The perception has to be the same, right? Very fact that one does not give it to all indicates that person himself or the object itself is not a source of happiness. Not only that, even an object which gives happiness to me can give happiness for some time, and after some time the same object can become a source of unhappiness. Suppose you like a laddu. Swamiji gives this example. I give you 12 big Tirupati laddus, right? And I compel you to eat. Now, this is a source of glee and happiness. So you start eating. 1 is possible, 2, 3, 4. After that, you cannot even look at it, right? However it is, right? So tell me now whether it is a source of happiness or unhappiness. If it is a source of happiness, it should give happiness all the time to all the people. Therefore, the conclusion is no object gives happiness to all the people all the time. Therefore, happiness is not the nature of any object in the world. Naturally, the question comes, if the world does not have happiness, how come I do derive happiness when I do something like watch a movie, I eat a dish that I like, I speak to a person I love? They seem to give happiness. Vedanta gives an answer, very peculiar answer, very difficult to swallow initially. Vedanta says, there is only one source of happiness in this entire creation. That only source of happiness is you, the Atma itself. Atma is not only Satrupaha, Chidrupaha, which means is of the nature of existence, Satyam, as well as consciousness. Atma is Ananda Swarupaha. That Atma alone is the source of happiness. When I derive happiness from a person or object, right, I like, the phenomenon that happens is this. Vedanta says, when I meet a person or object for whom or for which I have got an attachment, a liking because of my temperament, right, that particular object quietens my mind, right? When I am in the presence of certain things which is tallying with my temperament, then naturally the mind quietens down. When the mind is quiet, it serves like a mirror. A quiet mind is like a clean mirror. In that mirror, my mind, my own happiness gets reflected. Like a mirror reflecting my face, my own mind reflects the happiness of myself. When the mind becomes like a mirror, right? Because of what? A conducive situation. What is conducive for one person is not so for another person. Different people require different setup, right? In that setup, the mind becomes quiet. It may be evening sky, it may be birds chirping, it can be Carnatic music, it can be rock music for a teenager, right? Whatever the mind is used to, in that conducive setup, the mind quietens. My own happiness gets reflected, and due to ignorance, what do? I commit a mistake that the external object gave me joy. According to Vedanta, it is not the object. I myself, right? I'm the reason, right? And Atma is reflected. I, the Atma, is reflected in the quiet mind. So the example that the Shastra gives is mind-boggling. It's like a dog biting a bone and enjoying, right? The dog bites the bone. It's a dry bone. How much dry? The simile is only bone dry, right? That is the example for bone. It has got some sharp edges. When the dog bites the bone, it injures its own mouth. From the mouth, the blood comes. The dog is able to take the blood coming from where? Not from the bone, but his own mouth. But the poor dog, having only a doggy intellect, right? It cannot think that well. Therefore, it makes a wrong conclusion. What is that? Before biting the bone, no blood. After biting the bone, yes, blood. Therefore, this is called Anvaya Vyatireka logic. Swamiji uses this Sanskritized English and says, therefore, bone eva bloodasya karanam. Right? asti eva raktasya karanam. Therefore, what does it do? It bites harder. To test it, when it bites harder, blood comes more. Dog again commits the mistake of attributing to the bone the capacity to generate blood, right? So Vedanta says, as far as happiness is concerned, human being is also very similar to the dog. He thinks that this person gives me joy, that person gives me joy, and thereafter runs after a person, right? Biting, right? Literally. And then, for instance, dating somebody, getting married, right? All of that, right? But finally, ultimately, what is Vedanta saying? The world does not have happiness. The world can maximum only make the mind reflectable. When the mind becomes calm, my own ananda gets reflected. So I am Satrupaha, I am Chidrupaha, I am Ananda Rupaha. We can enjoy the reflected happiness, all right, but we should remember whenever we are enjoying happiness, we are getting our own happiness only. Whenever I look at the mirror, if there is a beautiful face, what should I understand? I should not say there is a beautiful face. I should claim that beautiful face is myself only, right? So I am beautiful. The frame belongs to the mirror, right? So the surface to the mirror, the beautiful face belongs to me. So similarly, objects belong to the world, people belong to the world. Whenever I enjoy the enjoyment, right, belongs to not the world, but to myself, right? So Swamiji says the English word is so beautiful, enjoy, because in Tamil, enjoy means it is my joy. En represents my, right? So one who has understood this fact thoroughly, right, is the one who is ever happy, right? And this is analyzed in the Upanishad. In the Gita, Ananda Vicharaha is not done. Okay? Only in Taittiriya Upanishad and Chandogya Upanishad you can see it, right? But heavy discussion on Ananda Vichara is there, right? So by studying this, I should claim that there is only one source of Ananda, that is myself, which comes now and then reflected in the mind, right? The original Ananda is always there, whether it is reflected or not, right? When the mind is conducive, it gets reflected, right? So a Vedantic student has grasped this important message. In meditation, he claims that fact, aham sukha swarupam, right? So the third definition, for which I had to spend this time explaining, is atyantika sukham, the absolute original happiness. The other happiness is a copy that comes and goes, right? This is atyantika sukham, or original happiness, which can be claimed, right? So then atindriyam. Atindriyam is not an object of experience because it is myself, right? It has to be claimed with the help of buddhi. Infinite happiness will not come from outside. It is a matter to be claimed as myself. Buddhi grahyam. This is called atyantika sukha praptihi. It is very interesting that this particular aspect that I just covered, I guess requires a lot of mananam and nididhyasanam. Okay, this is I am speaking from my own experience, because I find that in the text called Panchadashi, right, by Vidyaranya, as well as a text called Vichara Sagaram that Swamiji is currently taking, which he started in 2011. Okay, it's a very, very advanced text. He's still in it. I think he will take another 2 years to complete, which is a 17th or 18th century text, more like. This aspect has been discussed at length, right? The process of how the happiness happens, how the jnanam happens, so much it has been discussed, which means, of course, Swamiji always says that, look, you only need Gita and Upanishad and a person can attain Atma Jnanam, etc. He always speaks about it because he says these kind of granthas, right, the extra Panchadashi as well as Vichara Sagaram, more so Vichara Sagaram, are all more meant for people who love logic and who love to analyze and inquire, and it is really not compulsory for a spiritual seeker. I think these kind of granthas have been authored by the later stage acharyas only because they felt that for people it is difficult to grasp this aspect, as if you came and said, oh, you don't derive any happiness from the external world, you are the happiness. I think it's mind-boggling for us to assimilate something like that. It takes a while to imbibe. And these kind of texts actually go to such extra lengths to analyze, like you would analyze, say, science or engineering, right? I would say more logically, there is step-by-step analysis which has been done by these acharyas. And Vichara Sagaram by the original Hindi book is by Nishala Dasa, and then the Sanskrit translation is by Vasudeva Brahmendra Saraswati. These are texts that really go into depth of the analysis of these aspects, the actual process of cognition and all of that, right? Perception, cognition, how does it happen, right? When you say thoughts, what do we mean by thought, right? Vritti means what? The analysis of thoughts has been done in pages and pages, chapter after chapter, right? So anyway, I just wanted to take a few minutes and explain this, right? So then coming to the fourth definition, right? It is connected to the first line. The meditator claims, right? Yatra chaivayam sthitaha. By regularly practicing this nididhyasanam, I assimilate this teaching and therefore I know that Ananda is not coming from the world. I am the only source. Therefore, when the Ananda comes and goes, I don't run after those objects. I don't run after the mirror to get at the beautiful face. That beautiful face is anyway only myself. Similarly, my emotional attachment to the world as a source of happiness goes away. I get attached to the world because I have a false conclusion that that person will give me joy as long as the person is with me, right? And even that imaginary loss, we shudder. You see that in the first chapter, Arjuna had imaginary loss, right? And he wanted to run away, right? So that attachment to the world is due to the wrong conclusion. A Vedantic student removes that. World and people are there or not, I don't depend on anyone for happiness. This is called Atmanishta, right? Therefore, he says, Yatra sthitaha, remaining in this knowledge, abiding in this knowledge, Tattvataha naiva chalati. Meditator never forgets this fact, right? It's like the Shruti, like the Tambura Shruti, right? So it continues in the side. So as long as people are there, I will try to serve and help them. Love is giving support. Attachment is taking support. So you give support, but don't take support, right? Attachment results in taking support. Ajnani takes support, Jnani gives support. Therefore, tattvataha naiva chalati. He never strays away from his real nature. In Sanskrit, this is called tattvanishtaha. So we have seen four definitions: chitta uparamanam, atma darshanam, atyantika sukha praptihi. Four is tattvanishta, right? So I just put down these four here, and there are three more. I don't want to rush. I will take up the three in the next class, right? Though I did come prepared, but I had to speak about the important part of this claiming happiness. In fact, in Vichara Sagaram, very interestingly, the example given is Simha and Simmani. Who is happy with the lion? If the lion comes in front of you, everybody is unhappy. But there is one person who is happy with the lion, right? That is the Simhani, which is the lioness, right? So similarly, Swamiji also gives example about cockroaches to say that the happiness is becoming, with respect to the expectation or the raga. It is not with respect to the object itself or the situation. Very interesting discussions in those texts. So we will see the other three aspects in the next class. So we'll tell Purnamada, and I am sure you will have questions, so I can take them after that. 1 second. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yeah, on 20th and 27th October, as of now, I think we won't have class. Why I'm saying that is, as things stand today, the weather is bad in northern India, so I am not sure. So I will let you know by next week. So as of now, tentatively, we don't have classes on 20th and 27th. Okay. Any questions? Let me just see that. You can put up your hands in case you want to ask any question. Okay, nobody has any questions. Do you have? You have a question? No, it was very deep today. I know. The first time this is introduced, it is like that. Please, yeah, there is someone who has raised their hand. Yes, Parvati Bagri, go ahead.
Hari Om ma'am, it's a
Hari Om.
continuation of my previous question only. Today you taught about that Shivamanasa Puja completely. Okay, then if we by heart, and how to apply that during the meditation, this one, how to...
Okay. See, the way it is done is like this. First, you sit in a comfortable posture, whatever posture is comfortable to you, preferably seated posture with your hands one over the other. Okay, that is how you sit straight. Like how I'm sitting now, you can sit, and with your one hand over the other. Then you slowly relax. When I say relax, you start observing your breathing, and once it slows down, you consciously feel that your legs are relaxed, your body is relaxed, like part by part, all the way up to the head you come, right? Then you will feel a certain amount of lightness, in the sense that you will feel relaxed. About 5 minutes it will take, because we are all running in this world. So it takes minimum of 5 minutes for us to just calm down our breathing and sit in a comfortable position and relax our body. Once that is done, you start this mental chanting of Shivamanasa Stotra. It will be 4 times slower than what I actually chanted today. It will take about 6 to 7 minutes to complete the Shivamanasa Stotra. And when you are chanting mentally, right, you chant initially if you want to use this recording, but very soon you have to come out of this recording and do the whole chanting mentally along with the meaning that I've given in that same PowerPoint. Below the verse, you can see the meaning, and then try to perform it mentally, the whole puja, and then perform, like when you say Karacharana Kritam Va, you are asking for forgiveness, right? On whatever you did during the day, omissions, commissions. Try and do all of that mentally. This itself, when you do, will take about 12 minutes. And after those 12 minutes, you can spend some more time actually dwelling on the teaching itself and then close. So 15 minutes is good enough to start with. So did it answer your question?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else has any question? I'm just seeing if... Can we replay all the recordings of the Gita from the website? Yes. In the website, you can listen to you can use the video, you can use the audio, you can download the PowerPoint slides also. You will also get Shiva Manasa Stotram, and today also I have chanted, so you can take the script also. Everything is available. Okay. Is there any other question? No. Okay. Hari Om. Then we will meet next class, next week.